In the end, what separates a man from a slave?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 shocking video game plot twists.
Take them and... Don't worry about me. Just get him out of here.
I'm sorry, Ichi.
For this list, we're looking at the most surprising plot twists you never saw coming. But they don't have to be good to be unexpected. Consider yourself warned, there are major spoilers ahead for every game we'll be discussing. Which twist left you speechless? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20. You're a girl. Metroid. Back in 1986, everybody assumed that this brave space marine on a mission to defeat a cabal of space pirates and the monstrous Mother Brain was, a guy. When, at the end of the game, the marine removed their helmet and revealed that she was in fact a woman, it was unprecedented. While Samus Aran is now one of the most widely known female video game heroes, and Metroid is a long-running popular franchise, the impact of this iconic moment can't be understated. That being said, the additional ending where she strips to her underwear probably should have been left on the drawing board. Number 19. Kessler is Cole in the future. Infamous.
In that moment of failure and grief, he used his newest and most dangerous power. He went on a one-way trip back in time, attempting to rewrite history.
The intimidating leader of the First Sons, Kessler is seemingly a megalomaniac and is responsible for murdering Cole's girlfriend Trish halfway through the game. When you reach the final boss fight against Kessler, however, he manages to implant a vision into Cole's head. It turns out Kessler is Cole from the future. A Cole who let the world be destroyed by the beast rather than lose his family.
My brain lurched, unable to accept that Kessler and I were the same person. That he'd come back in time to mold me into the savior he failed to be.
When Kessler lost his family regardless, he decided to use his powers to travel back in time, seize control of the First Sons, and force Cole to be the man he never was, so that the true villain, the Beast, can finally be defeated in the sequel.
I hate everything about Kessler, but when the time comes, I will be ready.
Number 18. Scott Shelby is the Origami Killer. Heavy Rain. Just who is the sinister, sadistic killer terrorizing the city in Heavy Rain? Did you guess it was that friendly, bumbling private detective who saves lives everywhere he goes? No? The shocking reveal that the Origami Killer and Scott Shelby are one and the same really did come out of nowhere. Plot twists are fun and all, but many players found this one hard to swallow. We're supposed to believe that Shelby, who spends most of the game trying to solve the crime, is a murderer. Not only that, but he also killed his old friend Manfred off-screen while we were playing as him. The more you replay Heavy Rain, the less sense this plot twist makes. Number 17. Aerith Dies. Final Fantasy VII. Sephiroth is a merciless villain, and while Cloud knows this from the get-go, it takes a while to convey to the player just how irredeemable he truly is. That moment finally comes during the absolutely gut-wrenching scene where Sephiroth kills Aerith, the innocent flower seller who captured the hearts of Final Fantasy players around the world. How could Sephiroth murder someone so kind and beloved? The fact that Square Enix was brave enough to kill off a major character and party member halfway through the game is commendable, especially when it's so well written. Decades later, and Aerith's death is still a tragedy like few others. Number 16, Sam Lies. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
I warned you.
Do it! Start! Hold your fire! Don't shoot! Put it down.
It's done. Okay? It's done.
Thought to have been fatally shot during a daring prison escape, Sam Drake makes a dramatic entrance in Uncharted 4. Sam wants Nate to get back into treasure hunting so that they can finally find the lost gold of the legendary pirate Henry Avery. Initially, he tells Nate that he promised a dangerous crime lord, Hector Alcazar, a cut, and if he doesn't deliver, Alcazar will kill him.
He did hard time, our time, and the guy who broke him out, Hector Alcazar, he owes him a lot of money.
Whoa, what the hell are you talking about, Nate? Hector Alcazar died in a shootout in Argentina like 6 months ago.
But once Nate, Sam, and the game's villain, Rafe Adler, are back together, Rafe reveals that he was the one who got Sam out of prison, and Alcazar already died months ago. Sam's been lying the whole time.
Nate.
Oh, Sam. Jesus, no.
Listen, Avery's treasure was ours. It was always ours.
I left my light for you.
Number 15, Arakawa shoots Kasuga. Yakuza like a dragon.
Ichi, would you be willing to take his place?
Are you serious, boss? I mean, I've been waiting for a shot like this.
After a gruesome murder, the Arakawa family patriarch implores loyal Yakuza Ichiban Kasuga to hand himself over to the police and take the fall. Kasuga spends nearly 20 years in prison, and when he's finally released, it's to little fanfare. Of course, the first thing he does is look for Arakawa, whom he expected to meet at the prison gates. But when Kasuga finally reunites with Arakawa, Arakawa shoots him in the chest in front of a meeting of the Omi Alliance.
I'm sorry, Ichi. You have to die.
Understanding this shocking and painful betrayal drives Kasuga from that point on, as he barely survives the bullet with which his father figure tried to end his life.
Where were you when the boss turned traitor?
Number 14, Nicole is dead. Dead Space.
You need to get it back now, Isaac. You can pilot the shuttle remotely from here. Make us whole again. Make us whole again.
Isaac's mission is not an easy one. In fact, it's a downright nightmare. The one thing keeping him going, however, is the belief that he's soon going to be reunited with his girlfriend Nicole, who was working on the Ishimura. This being the first game of the series, players weren't primed to expect the hallucinations the marker induces in its victims, which is why the plot twist that Nicole has been dead all along was so unexpected.
Thank you, Isaac. I always believed in you. I knew you'd return to me. We are whole again, Isaac. We are whole.
You, like Isaac, hoped that Nicole was surviving somewhere deeper in the ship, but it turns out she died long before the Kellion arrived. Even more spine-chilling is the fact that the chapters have been spelling out the truth since the start. Number 13, The Flood. Halo Combat Evolved.
Sergeant, we're surrounded. God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapons! There are too many, sir! Don't even think about it, Marine.
If you thought Halo was just going to be another bland shooter, you were sorely mistaken. While the setup of the human war against the Covenant isn't particularly unique, the reveal of a third enemy partway through the game changes everything.
Get back here, Marine! That's an order! Jenkins!
It turns out that the giant Halo at the center of the story is actually a weapon designed to wipe out a race of parasitic aliens called the Flood. If they're not stopped, they'll take over and destroy all organic life in the galaxy. Now you need to eradicate the Flood without using the Halos, which will kill organic life before the Flood can get to it, thereby starving them. No pressure. Number 12. Kefka is the true villain. Final Fantasy VI. A sinister figure from the beginning, Kefka is always unsettling. But still, you probably didn't realize he was going to become the final boss and one of the most devastating villains in the entire Final Fantasy series. Kefka makes his intentions to take over the world clear when he murders Emperor Gestal, the guy most of us believed would serve as the ultimate villain up until that point. Kefka proceeds to destroy the planet, shattering the continents into pieces and becoming a god, hell-bent on destruction for destruction's sake. It's this reveal, along with the outstanding writing, that makes Final Fantasy VI one of the best in the series and Kefka such a memorable monster. Number 11, Joel saves Ellie, The Last of Us.
Look. You can still do the right thing here.
The death of Joel's daughter Sarah during the prologue is a moment you'll never forget. It sets the stage for the rest of the game, as Joel comes to see Ellie, who he's hired to protect, as a surrogate daughter. Ellie is immune to the zombie virus, and a group called the Fireflies believes that they can use her to develop a vaccine to save the world.
Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
The problem is that her immunity comes from the fungus growing on her brain, which means she won't survive the operation the Fireflies want to perform. When Joel discovers this, he murders all the Fireflies in the building and saves Ellie's life, sacrificing the only hope of a cure.
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Number 10, Execution Points, Undertale. You probably shouldn't kill every single character in Undertale. But if you somehow missed that memo and went into the game expecting it to just be a standard RPG in which everyone is treated as a target, you may not have seen this sickening reveal coming. When you make it to the end, Sans reappears and explains to you that you haven't been collecting experience points to level up at all. They're execution points, and you're a heartless murdering maniac. By this point, you're completely irredeemable, and even if you're tempted to start the game over, the characters will remember what you've done. Number 9. You were the villain, Braid. Since the dawn of time, brave heroes have been rescuing captured princesses. As such, you probably won't question the motivation of Braid's main character, Tim, as he tries to rescue a princess from a villainous knight. Until the very end of the game, that is, where the time manipulation mechanic shows that the princess isn't running from the knight at all, she's running from you. The knight is actually helping her and the one who truly wants to rescue the princess, and you've been pursuing her relentlessly for the entire game so far. It's a masterfully constructed twist that makes you question the damsel in distress trope much more widely. Number 8. The government betrays John. Red Dead Redemption.
Take them and... Don't worry about me. Just get them out of here.
Ex-gunslinger John Marston is enlisted by the United States government to track down his old crew and eliminate them one by one. Failed to do so, and he'll never see his wife Abigail and his son Jack again. Marston, of course, does what they want, traveling across the land to hunt Bill Williamson, Javier Escuela, and the leader of the old gang, Dutch Vanderlyn. When that's done, he comes back home to finally start living his life as a rancher, but the government has other ideas. Weeks after John is reunited, the government agents return to Beecher's Hope and execute John in front of his own barn. Number 7. Shepard's Betrayal. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. In this acclaimed sequel, Task Force 141 is still hard at work trying to take down Vladimir Makarov, a Russian terrorist trying to start a third world war. But it turns out that Makarov isn't the only one they need to worry about. Close to the end of the game, 2 major members of the 141, Ghost and Roach, are betrayed by their commanding officer, General Shepard.
Good. That's one less loose end.
Shepard shoots them both as they try to evacuate, leaving only Soap and Captain Price left to pick up the pieces. Shepard wants to start a war just as much as Makarov. Soap does get swift revenge on Shepard at the end of the game, but this plot twist still stings. Number 6. Wesker works for Umbrella. Resident Evil.
Well, what do you know?
Oh, don't blame Barry for everything. I hear that his better half and 2 lovely daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
We all know by now that Wesker is a villain. He's a power-hungry sociopath and part of the Umbrella Corporation. But in 1996, when the world was first introduced to Resident Evil, the twist that Wesker's been working for Umbrella for years and played a major role in developing the T-Virus threw players for a major loop.
What? What are you planning?
I guess it's time for show and tell.
In the same scene where Wesker reveals the truth, he also shows you his pride and joy, the first Tyrant, which he's been growing in the underground lab. When awakened, the Tyrant kills Wesker, or tries to at least. We know he survives. And the series has never been the same since.
Jill and Barry together. In hell.
Number 5. Darth Revan. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
All this time and you still haven't figured it out.
Surprise, surprise, you're not a blank slate protagonist after all. You've actually got a very specific identity, and the reveal is akin to finding out that Darth Vader is Luke's father, in true Star Wars fashion. You are actually Darth Revan, an ex-Jedi Knight turned Sith who's lost their memories. This is imparted to the player by Darth Malak himself, the primary antagonist and also Revan's ex-apprentice. Now the choice between the light and dark side of the Force becomes even more important. Are you going to abandon your former ways and defeat Darth Malak, or succumb to the dark, becoming the Sith Lord you once were?
I'll hold Malak off. You two get out of here. Find the Star Forge.
No, Bastila, he's too strong. No!
Number 4. Atreus is Loki, god of war.
We did it.
We did.
After decimating all of the Greek gods, Kratos travels to Midgard to escape from his past and marries a warrior named Faye, with whom he has a son, Atreus. Faye dies immediately prior to the events of 2018's God of War, leaving Kratos and Atreus to carry out her final wish, scatter her ashes from the highest peak in the 9 realms. After much difficulty, they're finally able to do this, at which point a prophetic mural prompts Kratos to reveal that Faye is a giant, and she chose the name Loki for Atreus.
She was a giant. I'm a giant.
This makes Atreus the trickster god of Norse mythology and the father of the world's serpent Jormungandr in the future. It was a revelation nobody was expecting.
My name on the wall. The giants called me Loki?
Number 3. Konrad was in your head. Spec Ops: The Line.
We surrender, sir. Dubai is yours.
Where is Konrad?
Where he's always been. Upstairs, waiting for you.
You've spent the entire game battling through the streets of Dubai during a deadly sandstorm, pursuing the insane and dangerous Colonel Konrad. Konrad has deserted the US Army, along with his entire battalion of men, to take control of Dubai, or so you believe. When the main character, Captain Walker, finally makes it to the top of the luxurious hotel Konrad is living in, he finds Konrad's dead body. It turns out Konrad shot himself weeks ago, and the Konrad who's been taunting and manipulating Walker was all in his head. All the terrible things Walker did, he did of his own volition, and it's up to you whether he can live with the consequences or not.
It takes a strong man to deny what's in front of him.
Stronger than you were.
Number 2, James killed Mary, Silent Hill 2.
So peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place.
James Sunderland sets out to Silent Hill after receiving a strange letter from his wife Mary, whom you quickly learn died a few years ago. Throughout his time in the nightmarish Otherworld, James is tormented not only by Pyramid Head, one of the most terrifying villains in gaming, but by Maria, a strange woman who shares an uncanny resemblance with James's dead wife. The reason for all of this? James is plagued by unrelenting guilt. It turns out that Mary didn't die of her long illness, she was murdered by James, who managed to block this out of his memory. Pyramid Head is a manifestation of James's desire to be punished.
She died because she was sick?
No. I killed her.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Bell is a Soviet. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. You've been captured and brainwashed by the CIA in an effort to destroy Perseus.
We've known each other for years. Fought together, bled together, been through the hell of Vietnam together. We got a job to do.
And now the training's complete. You just need to give the subject a name.
Bell.
Tidus is just a dream. Final Fantasy X. It turns out Tidus and Jecht are just spirits destined to help Yuna on her journey.
Yes, you're a dream of the faith. You, your father, your mother, everyone. All dreams.
Aloy is a clone. Horizon Zero Dawn. She came from the machines and is actually a clone of an ancient scientist.
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable even. But with enough compassion to heal the world.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Would You Kindly? BioShock.
Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
You thought you were just the survivor of an unfortunate plane crash in the mid-Atlantic Ocean. You believed that your descent into the underwater city of Rapture was a complete coincidence. Turns out that you're wrong on both counts.
Forced down. Forced down by something less than a man, something bred to sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase.
You're actually the son of Andrew Ryan, genetically experimented on and brought back down to Rapture by Fontaine, disguised as Atlas, to finally kill Ryan. And guess what? Fontaine's plan succeeded. Brainwashed by the phrase, "Would you kindly?" you've had no choice but to obey his commands throughout the entire game. The chilling discovery of the Would You Kindly room and the truth about Jack is a plot twist gamers will never forget.
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run! Stop! Turn.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.